Okay, here we want to create a simple 50mm cube with some 10mm holes going through each surface of the cube. So let's create a new part, and we're going to create a part here. Click on that. Now notice that the part that's been selected over here, when we choose it, we'll find it's going to have inches, and you might find that to be the case. You've got a part which has inches. We really want millimeters. So to change that setting for millimeters, we need to go to the Tools menu, go to Document Settings over here, click the Units tab, and change from inch or foot to millimeters. Time is seconds, and mass will be kilograms. So use that. Degrees are fine, and click Apply and close, and we'll now be working in millimeters. Just double check that to make sure that you're not, especially when you're 3D printing parts, you don't want to be working in inches. It's too big. Okay, so we're back to a 3D model, and we're going to start a sketch to create a cube. Let's select a plane. I'm selecting this plane with my left mouse button clicking. We're now going to create a rectangle. I'm going to use this feature of the rectangle. It's a 2-point center, which means you click on the center, that one there, and drag out, and we have a rectangular prism. Now one side is already highlighted. I'm going to make that 50mm, and the other side, I'm going to click on it here. I also want to be 50mm, so left mouse button clicked on both of those and hit enter. Now we've got a cube, 50mm cubed. I'm going to hit the zoom button to shrink it in so it fits the page, and there it is, fully constrained from the origin. Okay, I'm going to finish that sketch, and now I'm going to extrude this feature by left clicking. The extrude window opens, and I'm going to extrude rather than from one surface or another. I'm going to extrude from the center plane onto both sides, and of course since it's a cube I want it to be 50mm, so I'll click up here, or I can use this quick reference dialog box here as well and make it 50mm, and there it is. I'm okay with that, and I've got my 50mm cube, so sitting there nicely. If I wanted to click the view cube and move it around, I could do so. Look at it from the right or the front, however I wanted. Okay, next thing is to make my center holes. I'm going to click the hole function over here and choose to have linear placement, or I can click from sketch, concentric, or on a point. We'll just use linear at the moment, and I'm going to choose this face. Notice that my cursor has a crosshairs on it, so it doesn't really matter. I'm going to pick a spot. I don't have to try near the center as a location. I'll click it there, and Inventor gives me an existing hole all the way through, and I can change now the diameter of the hole up here very easily. I'll make it 10mm, which is what I want, and it's going to be a 10mm hole. Now on the left hand side here, more information is available. This reference 1 and reference 2 relates to locating that hole with respect to the object that it's going through. So I'm going to click reference 1 arrow and then select an edge. That means that I can now specify how far away from that edge do I want the center of the hole to be. I want it to be 25mm. Now don't hit enter yet. Click reference 2 and select that reference. Because if you hit enter, you'll see why. When you hit enter, you'll lose your dialog box. You'll have to regain it again, and I should do that actually to show you guys what happens. So I'll click 25. It's already guessed it's 25, so I'm going to hit enter. So now let's suppose that hole's in the wrong spot. I want to edit it. Go across here to the model tree. Notice as I highlight and run my cursor over, each section of what I've created highlights. So this is a record, the model tree, or I think it's called the browser in Inventor. If you right click on that, you can edit the feature, and left click on edit feature, and you're back to your dialog box where you can change all the different parts as you need to. Okay, but we're happy with that, so we're going to leave it at 25. Okay, next hole. So I'm going to select a face. I'm going to start a 2D sketch. This time I'm orientated towards that sketch, which is fine. I'm going to create... Actually, no, I don't want to do it like that. Oh, I can do it differently. I'll do it this way. This time I'm going to do a circle. So I'm not using the whole function. I've got a center point here to run off. I'll create my circle, and I'll make it 10mm, and hit enter. And there's my 10mm sketch. I'm going to finish that sketch, and this time use the extrude function, and to create the hole. And I wanted to remove material, so I'm selecting this center box over here, and the distance, how far does that remove? I want to go all the way through. I could go to the next instance or next object or between two centers. I'm going to go all. And yep, so we've got the all function and remove material. I've got to select the sketch, of course. So if I should really do that first. So if you find yourself in that position where you think, gee, what's going on here? The grayed out OK section doesn't work. Click the cancel, and when you hit the extrude button, the first thing you probably should do is select what item you want to extrude. Now I'm going to select that little area that's now light grey inside there, and out comes the circle or the extruded feature. I don't want it to go that way, I want it to go the opposite way, so I can use this button down here to reverse that section if I want to go this way, if I wanted to, in which case it's going to remove material. I've selected remove material over here, and I can select the distance 50 or just make it go all the way through. So I go all the way through, that suits me fine. And I check OK, and there's my second hole. Now to make the third hole and the final hole, which I want to have holes on every face, I'm going to use the hole feature again, and this time select this face, do the same sort of a thing. 10mm is still the standard size, it's already entered there for me. Reference 1, I'll click that. It's 24 point something, I want it to be 25, and then reference 2 over here. Select another sketch, make it, or another edge, make it 25. And it's now fully located where I want it to be. And I hit apply, and there's my cube. And cancel out of there. So now I have my cube to spin it around to give you guys a bit of a look with my holes, 10mm holes all the way through the center. Okay, next thing I'd like to do is round the edges of this cube. So I'm going to use the fillet function, which will put a round on a 2D or 3D plane, as you can see. So I click the fillet function, and I can select up here the quick reference here. I'm going to make a radius of 5mm. So I'll hit 5mm there, and then I'm going to choose what kind of, I want to do a loop. That means that when I select an edge, the inventor won't just put the fillet on one edge, it'll actually do it on all the connected edges. So I'm going to left click there, and there's my 5mm fillet. I'll do the same on the other side. On this edge over here, I can reach through the back there by hovering over it there, and lastly down the bottom, I think I might have covered it all. Let's have a quick look. The spin center here, no, one more there. So I want escape out of the spin center and click here for my final loop. So I've got my fillet all the way around. It's a 10mm fillet. I click OK, and there it is. So I can show you my nice cube. That's how to create your cube. Create one of those. You can render them easily up here using materials and colors, and you can pick a material if you like. At the moment it's set on generic, but I could choose anything I like. I'm going to choose glass for the moment. Now you see it's become translucent, and the appearance is clear, but let's just say I wanted to make it something a little bit more interesting, clear yellow with a yellow tint. So there I've got my yellow tinted cube, looking pretty good, and I think that'll about finish this tutorial. So create yourself a cube. You don't have to use glass, of course, you can use any feature you want. Try not to use dark features because they do hide the detail behind. Okay? Thank you very much.